Oh, some drops in the polls and veering off, of course, at times. Donald Trump was trying to reset his campaign this week, but yet another unscripted comment from him has him facing controversy. Our Week News political expert, Dr. Rossi. He's here in the studio with more on what Trump's comments could mean for the future of the election. Glad you're with us this morning.
Nice to be with you again. Yeah.
First, I want to look at one of the covers of the New York newspapers this morning about Donald Trump and what he has been saying out on the campaign trail. From the Daily News, this isn't a joke anymore. They want essentially Trump to resign and get off of the campaign trail and turn over the GOP nomination to somebody else. What do you say to this?
I say his comments are shallow and dangerous to begin with. It's just unfortunate. We had a nice conversation the other day about his tax plan, which made some sense, and we can criticize it. But then within 24 hours, he goes down this ugly road, and he says things that are incendiary, just terrible comments. And then he tries to backtrack, and now he's blaming the media. I mean, it's a mess. He doesn't look good, and a lot of Republicans are jumping ship, and it really looks bad for him and the party. And I wonder what somebody like Ryan is actually going to do in the long run. Does he continue to support him? I mean, it's just really unfortunate and a self-inflicted wound. Another one. Another one.
And they've become part of the theme of this campaign. Right. Trump just often says what he wants to say when he wants to say it. Right. When he was in Florida yesterday, he had some things to say about President Obama and ISIS. Let's listen to this and then get your reaction. Here's Trump again.
ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS. I would say the co-founder would be crooked Hillary Clinton.
What do you think? Politicians will say and go after the attack and say just about anything when they're on the stump. Is this too far? What do you think?
Well, I don't mind people being aggressive against the other person, but this extreme talk is really not going over well with voters. I mean, to say that the president is the founder is just bizarre, and I think another unfortunate statement. Just criticize. Say that we should have been involved sooner. We should have 5,000 or 20,000 troops there beforehand, if you believe that. The president thought we needed a coalition to fight a religious war. He didn't want body bags coming back with our soldiers. So he has a reason. Trump could be critical. But to go to the extreme seems to be not helping him with most of America. Maybe with his base, but not most people.
Well, he has lost Republicans along the way, and some of them have been speaking out this week as well. Let's listen to a couple of them about what they're saying about why they cannot support the candidate.
Trump is too racist and too bigoted for the land of Lincoln.
He lacks the temperament, the judgment, and the self-restraint to be our president.
A Trump presidency would really harm our nation.
There's plenty of evidence that Mr. Trump is a con man, a fake.
A lot of Republicans have been piling on, these establishment Republicans. In some ways, it almost helps Trump because that's who he's campaigning against. But it's a never-ending story for him that really can't hurt or can't help him.
Right, and I always say here that, personality is the most important factor. Well, in this campaign, it certainly is the most important factor, and it's one personality. It's just him, and it's all about him, and it looks like he has a problem when it comes to temperament, judgment, what he says. He misspeaks. He says things that are bizarre, strange. He tries to backtrack. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't look presidential. It's not something that Romney would say or McCain. And what would Ronald Reagan say about all of this? So it's a mess, and it's all on him. It's not the media.
Yeah, I just read one of the more interesting things about this, how some suspect that this movement, they need him to lose big, and therefore they continue to pile on.
Yeah, I mean, this is going in the wrong direction altogether, because maybe more Republicans will get in there and say, we don't want him, and then stand up for themselves and maybe look better doing that. So this is really going this, a certain way in terms of the psychology of the election.
Not ending. Thank you, Dr. Rossi. We'll
Thanks.
see you again. Wake News will be right back.